Imagine living in a place where the sun does not set for almost 3 months. A place where glaciers are bigger than entire cities. Where earthquakes powerful enough to reshape the land happen regularly. And where you might see a grizzly bear before you see another person. This is not another planet. This is Alaska. Known as the last frontier, Alaska is the largest state in the United States. But despite its massive size, fewer than 1 million people live here. It's a land filled with snow-covered mountains, endless forests, active volcanoes, giant glaciers, and some of the most incredible wildlife on Earth. But Alaska is much more than beautiful scenery. It's a place with an incredible history, unique cultures, extreme weather, and landscapes that continue to change every single day. So, what makes Alaska one of the most fascinating places on Earth? Let's find out. The biggest state in America. When people hear the word Alaska, most imagine snow and ice. But the reality is much more surprising. Alaska covers more than 6,63,000 square miles, making it larger than Texas, California, and Montana combined. If Alaska were its own country, it would be one of the largest nations in the world. Its coastline stretches for over 33,000 miles, longer than all the other US states combined. The state also contains more than 3 million lakes, thousands of rivers, and over 1 lakh glaciers. In fact, around 80% of Alaska has no road access at all. Many communities can only be reached by airplane or boat. Imagine needing a flight just to visit the nearest supermarket or hospital. For many Alaskans, that's simply everyday life. How Alaska was created. Millions of years ago, Alaska looked nothing like it does today. The land was formed by the collision of massive tectonic plates beneath the Earth's surface. As these plates pushed against each other, huge mountain ranges slowly rose into the sky. Volcanoes erupted again and again, creating new land. Then came the ice ages. Gigantic glaciers spread across Alaska, carving valleys, creating lakes, and shaping the dramatic landscapes we see today. Even now, Alaska is still changing. The glaciers continue to move. Earthquakes shake the ground every year, and more than 100 volcanoes across the state are considered active or potentially active. Nature is constantly reshaping Alaska. DENALI, the giant of North America. Standing above everything else is DENALI. At 20,310 feet, it's the tallest mountain in North America. Its name comes from the Kayukon Athabaskan language and means the high one. On clear days, DENALI can be seen from more than 200 miles away. But Climbing it is one of the toughest challenges in mountaineering. Temperatures can drop below minus 40 degrees. Powerful storms appear without warning. And even experienced climbers often have to turn back before reaching the summit. For the indigenous peoples of Alaska, Denali has always been far more than just a mountain. It represents strength, respect, and the powerful forces of nature. Life in the last frontier. Life in Alaska is unlike anywhere else in the United States. During summer, some northern towns experience nearly 24 hours of daylight. This natural phenomenon is known as the midnight sun. People now their lawns at midnight. Children play outside late into the evening, and many residents lose track of time because it never truly gets dark. But winter tells a very different story. Living here requires preparation, patience, and resilience. Yet, despite these challenges, the people of Alaska have learned to live alongside one of the wildest environments on earth, and they are not alone. Because hidden within Alaska's forest, mountains, rivers, and oceans are some of the most incredible animals on the planet. In the next chapter, we will explore the fascinating wildlife that makes Alaska one of the Earth's last great wilderness. When people think about Alaska, one thing usually comes to mind first: wildlife. And for good reason. This is one of the few places on earth where nature still dominates. Animals roam freely across mountains, forests, rivers, and coastlines with very little human interference. In many of parts of Alaska, you are actually more likely to encounter a moose or a bear than another person. Let's start with Alaska's most famous resident, the brown bear. Some Alaskan brown bears can weigh more than 1,200 pounds and stand over 8 feet tall when on their hind legs. They are among the largest and predators in the world. But despite their intimidating size, these bears spend much of their time searching for food. During summer, they gather along rivers for one of nature's most spectacular events, the salmon run. Every year, millions of salmon leave the ocean and swim hundreds of miles upstream to the very rivers where they were born. The journey is exhausting. They battle strong currents, waterfalls, and countless predators along the way. For bears, this is a feast unlike any other. You have probably seen videos of bears standing in rushing waterfalls, catching fish right out of the air. It may look easy, but it takes years of practice. During the peak of the salmon season, a single bear can eat dozens of fish each day, storing enough fur to survive months of winter hibernation. But bears are not the only giants live here. Meet the moose. The Alaska moose is the largest member of the deer family on earth. Adult males can stand over 6 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh as much 1,600 pounds. Their antlers can stretch more than 6 feet across. Despite their enormous size, Moose are surprisingly quiet animals. They spend much of their day feeding on leaves, twigs, and aquatic plants. However, they can become extremely aggressive if they feel threatened, especially during mating season or when protecting their calves. Many locals will tell you they are more cautious around moose than bears. Hidden deep within Alaska's forest is another legendary predator, the gray wolf. Wolves live and hunt in highly organized family groups known as packs. Every member has a role. Some track prey, others protect the young. Together, they can bring down animals many times their own size, including caribou and even young moose. For centuries, wolves have been misunderstood. In reality, they play a vital role in keeping Alaska's ecosystems healthy by controlling herbivore populations and maintaining balance in nature. Now let's head to Alaska's river. Every summer, millions upon millions of salmon begin an incredible migration from the Pacific Ocean back to freshwater rivers. Scientists still don't fully understand every detail of how salmon find their exact birthplace after years at sea. What we do know is that they use a combination of Earth's magnetic field and an extraordinary sense of smell. Their return supports nearly every major animal in Alaska. Bears depend on salmon. Eagles depend on salmon. Wolves, foxes, otters, and even forests benefit from nutrients carried inland by this fish. Without the annual salmon run, Alaska's ecosystem would look completely different. Speaking of eagles, Alaska is home to one of the largest populations of bald eagles anywhere in the world. With a wingspan reaching nearly 8 feet, these powerful birds are expert hunters. You will often find them perched high in sparse trees overlooking rivers, waiting patiently for the perfect opportunity to catch a fish. Although they are the national bird of the United States, nowhere are bald eagles more common than Alaska. Sometimes dozens can be seen gathered in a single location during the salmon season. But the story does not end on land. The waters surrounding Alaska are just as extraordinary. Every summer, humpback whales migrate thousands of miles from warm tropical waters to Alaska's nutrient rich seas. Summer transforms the landscape with endless delight, blooming wildflowers and rivers filled with returning salmon. It's a cycle that has continued for thousands of years. Alaska's history is equally remarkable. From Russian explorers and the pursuits that many once called a mistake, to the gold rush that brought thousands of dreamers, and the discovery of oil that transformed its economy, Alaska has continually surprised the world. Today, it stands as a symbol of adventure, exploration, and discovery. Yet, the future of Alaska is uncertain. Climate change, growing tourism, and increasing demand for natural resources are reshaping the state in ways that were almost unimaginable just a few decades ago. The challenge is clear. How do we protect one of the world's last great wildernesses while allowing communities to grow and thrive? The answer won't be simple. But what happens in Alaska matters far beyond its border. Its glaciers influence global sea levels. Its forests store vast amounts of carbon. Its oceans support marine life that feeds ecosystems across the North Pacific. And its wildlife reminds us of what the natural world can look like when given the space to flourish. Perhaps that's Alaska's greatest lesson. It teaches us that nature is not something separate from humanity. It's something we are deeply connected to. The rivers, forests, mountains, and oceans of Alaska are part of a much larger story, one that belongs to all of us. As long as places like Alaska continue to exist, future generations will have the chance to experience a world that is still wild, is still unpredictable, and is still full of wonder. Thank you for joining us on the journey across America's last frontier. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves exploring our incredible planet. And let us know in the comments, if you could visit just one place in Alaska, where would you go and why? Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and we will see you in the next documentary.